This QX50 Century definitely tickles the senses of its beautifully appointed interior. The Century trim level is one of the range-topping trim levels for the QX50. This one also has a proactive package, so it has pretty much all the driving aids and driver's assistance features available for the 2020 model year. 2020 is a great year for the QX50 because it got a complete ground-up redesign in 2019. New engine, new platform, pretty much new everything. So with the Century, you get this beautiful perforated leather interior instead of the leatherette seating, so a little bit nicer. You have some nice contrasting colors and contrast stitching, beautiful aluminum trim. Also with the Century package, on the outside you have an upgraded wheel and tire package. This one has heated and cooled front seats. Also has a premium Bose sound system. Heads-up display. That comes with a proactive package, so it projects the speed, other important information on the windshield, so you don't have to look down off the road and be distracted. We also have a great driving aids, adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, lane keep assist. This thing is absolutely stunning. It's a one-owner clean Carfax vehicle, beautiful shape inside and out. And who better to buy a pre-owned Infiniti from than a new Infiniti retailer like us? Our techs work on these vehicles on a daily basis and are very familiar with them. We also have a big panoramic roof. It opens, but we're not going to open it all the way because it's raining out, so we'll leave it closed. And then if it gets too bright out, which unfortunately is not happening now, you also have a power sunshade to dim things down. But we'll also leave that open too, so you can see this video a little bit better. CVT transmission, electronic parking brake. There's the on and off switch right there. Then we have a drive mode selector that will make changes to steering. Throttle sensitivity, traction stability control settings. Really cool stuff. Nice leather up steering wheel with steering wheel paddle shifters. This one has 20,237 miles at the time of making this video. The QX50 features a dual display system. The top screen is for navigation and parking camera. We also have moving object detection. You can change views for parallel parking, low speed maneuvering. The bottom screen is a tablet-like interface for vehicle settings and apps. You can also access the drive mode selector here, drill down a little bit deeper, so you can make changes to the engine and transmission, Sport, Eco, Standard. You can make changes to the steering, and that actually brings up a cool feature. This has a system called DAS, which stands for Direct Adaptive Steering. It's pioneering technology that Infiniti first offered. We saw it on the Q50 in 2014. They've used it on many of their products, the Q50, the Q60, and in 2019 they started offering it on the QX60. Unfortunately, it's a system that they dropped. You won't find it on the new 2023 QX50s. I don't think they had it. I think 2021 was the last year for it. Pretty sure. So 22, 23 does not have it. So basically it's steer by wire. So there's no mechanical connection to the front wheels. It's all handled by electric motors and computers. So there's some benefits. It can react to steering inputs actually faster than a mechanical steering rack. It can filter out unwanted feedback. For instance, if you hit a pothole or rut in the road that normally jerk the wheel, that won't happen. So it filters out the feedback that you don't want and filters the feedback you do want. Then you can also take a lot more control over the feel of the steering. So you have standard, then you have sport, and then there's 3 settings for sport. There's dynamic and dynamic plus, so you can control the speed and the weight of the steering. It's a really cool system. A lot of people that have leased Infinitis over the years, often they seek it out again when they're looking to purchase or lease another Infiniti. They like it very much. And don't worry, there is also a mechanical steering rack, so if there is a catastrophic failure, which is pretty unlikely, but if the car for whatever reason completely loses power, there's a mechanical steering rack that will kick in so you can still steer the vehicle. It's not like you won't be without steering if you lose power. Awesome technology. I think just for what it costs to put in the vehicle versus Infiniti, thinking how many extra cars they'll sell as a selling point, I don't think, I think the bean counters won over, so that's why they dropped it, unfortunately. But man, it is a cool system. And yeah, I'd come in and check it out and feel the different steering settings. I think you'll be very, very impressed by it. All right, so we also have a power adjustable steering wheel that tilts and telescopes. Oh, wait a second, I've lost my train of thought. I'm not done with the drive mode selector. So we have steering, then we have active traction control. Active traction control brakes individual wheels to help the vehicle rotate better through the corners. You can shut that system on or off. Then we have active engine braking. And active engine braking is a natural tendency for a vehicle to slow down using the engine versus the brakes. So obviously this has a variable compression engine. So with that VC turbo engine, they can have active engine braking. So when you put it in a lower gear, that will use the engine to slow down the vehicle versus the brakes. So that can maybe save you a little bit on your brake life by using the engine braking feature. Pretty cool stuff. Dual zone auto climate control. Obviously we have navigation, memory seats, beautiful color combination and black on black. The Sentry comes with these upgraded wheels. There's a saying that clothes make the man. Well, I have a saying where wheels make the car. And you know, the standard wheel and tire package that comes in the QX50 looks great, but it's really not, you know, it's not going to catch people's attention. Where these things, a larger diameter wheel and tire package, a little bit more of an aggressive design, these things really pop. It really makes a big visual difference in the QX50. If I was going to buy a QX50, I would definitely want it to have these nicer wheels versus the standard wheels. I just think it makes a really big difference in the look of the vehicle. It kind of puts it over the top for me as far as looks go. Then we have these integrated sunshades. That's nice for kids. Even though this is a compact, we have a decent amount of space in the second row. The second row also slides back and forth and it reclines, so it's very comfortable back here. And look at this, you also have rear climate control as well. We have a power rear liftgate. And as far as 2023s, they did you know, add a few updates to the QX50. Like in the 23s, you have a slightly redesigned center console, wireless charger, but really, you know, between this 2020 and a 2022 or 2003, there really isn't a huge difference. So maybe if you're looking to save some money versus a brand new one on a pre-owned one, this nice clean 2020 would be a great one to consider. And you know, if you park this right next to a 2023 on our lot, you'd really have a hard time telling it apart. They look very, very similar. You have these cube design LED headlights for amazing nighttime visibility. And then we have this VC turbo engine. This is pioneering technology by Infiniti. They were working on this technology for about 20 years before they felt comfortable putting it in a production automobile. It's been a great, reliable engine for us. You know, it's not new anymore. We started getting these in 2018. It's 2019 models. It's 2023 now. It's a very robust, reliable system. So the way it works is it can mechanically change the compression ratio on the fly by making small changes to the cylinder volume. By making small changes to the cylinder volume, that can make big changes into the power and efficiency characteristics of the engine. For instance, if you're just kind of cruising along, doing easy does it driving, the car can tell, so it will put the compression ratio to a 14:1 compression ratio, which will calibrate the engine for maximum fuel efficiency. But maybe you have the drive mode selector in sport mode, maybe you're getting aggressive with the throttle, you're doing some sporty driving, well, the car can tell, and it'll quickly change that compression ratio to an 8:1 compression ratio, which will calibrate the engine for maximum horsepower and torque, which is 268 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. In fact, this little 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder makes more torque than the large 3.7 liter V6 it replaces. Very powerful, very fast, and also very fuel efficient. When the QX50 first came out with this VC turbo engine, it was one of the most fuel efficient vehicles in its class, and still, by today's standards, it's still one of the more fuel efficient vehicles versus the other cars it competes with. Thanks so much for taking the time today to watch this video. Hopefully see you soon, and have a wonderful day.